Good morning, ACF. My name is Amanda Cook, and I have the privilege of walking through James 1:12 with you this morning. So let's go ahead and read it together. Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him. I think it's important for us as followers of Jesus to know and understand that we are going to have two kinds of testing that come upon us because we believe in Jesus. The first one of those are trials, and trials, they come from a divine source. They have a purpose, and their purpose is to purify us and to strengthen us. As we mature in our faith, God uses trials to develop our faith, to develop our character and our ministry. James tells us that when our faith is being tested, it is because our character still needs further development. And God, he doesn't just test us for the fun of it. He knows what character qualities are still needed in our lives. He sees the deficiencies that we have, so in his time, he tests our faith in order to produce something of character. And then by responding to trials in the grace of God, you will experience the power of God's Spirit. And this is going to be manifested in our lives through the fruit of the Spirit. And that can be found in Galatians 5. The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. I know I could use all of those in my life. And then the second testing that we will go through are temptations. And temptations, these are not from God, but rather from the person themselves. So let us read on in this passage. James 1:13 says, "When tempted, no one should say, 'God is tempting me.' For God cannot be tempted by evil, nor does he tempt anyone. But each person is tempted when they are dragged away by their own evil desire and enticed. Then after desire has conceived, it gives birth to sin, and sin, when it is full grown, gives birth to death." So this scripture, it clearly says that each person is tempted when he is lured and enticed by his own desire. The origin of evil and temptation is in our own hearts. God is holy. God is without sin. In fact, he hates and he abhors sin. Nor does he commit sin. In fact, it goes against his very nature, the nature of perfection that is within him. So what is that really saying? That no one can tempt another to sin unless he is sinful himself and delights in it. So we can confidently say that God does not tempt us, but he will give us trials in order to refine and to grow us. And how we respond to these trials is going to impact our lives. So will you hold fast to the belief of Christ's sufficient strength, or will you allow the seeds of doubt to darken your heart to the goodness of God? Again, our response to these trials do matter. And then what are we promised when we successfully encounter these? Verse 12 concludes by saying, "Having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him." And that is some good news. Love you, ACF.